Ania, August and the Dead Sea Scrolls by Rich von Hult. The darkness of the Baltic Sea enveloped the MV Wilhelm Gustloff, a military ship stretching 685 feet long and towering 183 feet high. Its name, etched in Old English on the side, stood as a silent sentinel against the night. Inside the ship's office, Ania August, a Polish spy disguised as a nurse, rummaged through a desk cluttered with papers, her tiny flashlight providing a feeble glow. Her dark brown satchel hung heavily over her shoulder, a constant reminder of her mission. Across the room, Piotr Pakulski, another Polish spy masquerading as a doctor, systematically searched each drawer of a tall, thin file cabinet. Every screech of the drawers pierced the silence, setting Ania's nerves on edge. Above the cabinet, a portrait of Adolf Hitler loomed, his eyes seemingly following their every move. "Can you be louder?" Ania hissed, her voice dripping with sarcasm. Piotr barely acknowledged her, his focus unwavering as he continued his search. Ania's frustration mounted as she frantically sifted through the papers on the desk. "What we're looking for should be rolled up," she explained, her voice urgent. "It's pretty large, so it probably won't be in a filing cabinet. It's likely wrapped in plastic." Piotr remained unimpressed. "You really don't know that." Ania's eyes flashed with determination. "This scroll is a treasure of our religious right. It's not supposed to be released to the public for another 5 years or so." "Why?" Piotr questioned, his tone bordering on indifference. "Because we want to make sure it doesn't contain any false hope in our belief," Ania retorted, her voice tinged with exasperation. The sound of approaching footsteps shattered their concentration. Nazi officers were drawing near. Ania froze, her heart pounding in her chest, while Piotr obliviously continued his search. "Piotr!" Ania whispered loudly, desperation seeping into her voice. The footsteps grew louder, almost at the door. "Piotr!" Ania hissed again, her eyes wide with fear. "What?" Piotr snapped, slamming the cabinet drawer shut and turning to face her. As the doorknob began to turn, Ania's gaze darted downward, catching a glimpse of the scroll peeking out from beneath a stack of papers. With trembling hands, she moved the papers aside, revealing the scroll in all its glory. Just as the door swung open, Ania swiftly folded the scroll and tucked it into her satchel. The Nazi officer burst into the room, his eyes narrowing at the sight of the intruders. "Hey, what are you two doing in my office?" he demanded, pulling out his gun and aiming it at Ania. "Hand me the satchel," he ordered, his voice cold and authoritative. Suddenly, the ship lurched as it hit a wave, and Ania seized the opportunity. She barreled into the Nazi officer, her shoulder connecting with his chest and knocking him off balance. They grappled for control, hands clawing at each other's faces in a desperate struggle. Piotr, seeing his chance, reached out his hand. "Ania, throw me the satchel!" But before Ania could react, a deafening thump reverberated from the bottom of the ship. Piotr, gripped by fear, bolted from the office, leaving Ania alone with the Nazi officer. In a last-ditch effort, Ania kicked the officer and lunged for the door. But his grip on the satchel proved too strong. With a sickening tear, the satchel was ripped from her grasp, and Ania was left standing empty-handed, her mission hanging in the balance. Ania raced through the suffocating corridor, the heat pressing down on her like a physical weight. The constant rattling noise assaulted her ears, forcing her to stop and clutch them in a futile attempt to block out the sound. Gasping for air, she pushed onward, her eyes scanning the crowded passageway for any sign of escape. A steamship agent caught her attention, and she sprinted towards him, desperation fueling her steps. "Hey, how do I get back to the top deck?" she called out. But the agent remained engrossed in his inspections, oblivious to her plea. Undeterred, Ania turned to a maintenance man, only to find his head buried deep within a machine lost in concentration. Frustration mounting, she spotted a distant staircase and surged towards it, her heart pounding in her chest. In her haste, Ania's foot caught on a discarded life jacket, sending her stumbling. The scroll tumbled from her shirt, and she scrambled to retrieve it, her fingers trembling as she tucked it back into place. With renewed determination, she charged down the hallway, weaving through the throng of passengers. Amidst the chaos, Piotr's familiar figure came into view. Ania closed the distance between them, her hand connecting with the back of his head in a sharp slap. He whirled around, his eyes flashing with anger. "What the hell, Piotr?" Ania demanded, her voice tight with fury. Piotr ignored her outburst, motioning for her to follow. "Come on," he urged, breaking into a run. Ania struggled to keep pace, her doubts rising with each step. "Do you even know where you're going?" she challenged, her words nearly drowned out by the cacophony surrounding them. As if in response, the lights flickered, plunging the corridor into momentary darkness. Piotr pointed ahead, his voice strained. "See, the stairs there." Together they bounded up the steps, their footfalls echoing in the confined space. The air grew thicker with each passing second, and Ania's lungs burned with the effort of drawing breath. The ship seemed to close in around them, a labyrinth of narrow passages and dead ends. Yet driven by an unyielding sense of purpose, Ania and Piotr pressed on, their eyes fixed on the promise of escape that lay just beyond their reach. The scroll, nestled close to Ania's heart, served as a constant reminder of the stakes at hand, a treasure they could not afford to lose. With each twist and turn, the corridor seemed to stretch endlessly before them, a gauntlet of obstacles and distractions. But Ania refused to succumb to the mounting pressure, her resolve hardening with every passing moment. She would not fail, not when so much hung in the balance. As they climbed higher, the din of the ship faded into the background, replaced by the pounding of their own hearts and the ragged sound of their breathing. The top deck beckoned, a sanctuary amidst the chaos, and Ania clung to the hope that it represented, a lifeline in a sea of uncertainty. Ania and Piotr stepped into the hallway, their eyes tracking the movement of 3 naval women who strode past them. With a subtle nod, Ania signaled Piotr to follow their lead. The women turned and disappeared through a set of double doors, a sign beside them announcing pool. They pursued the women into the women's naval auxiliary, but a guard intercepted Piotr, his hand pressing firmly against Piotr's chest. "Sorry, this is for the naval auxiliary," the guard stated, his tone unyielding. Ania continued forward, glancing back at Piotr with a mischievous smile. Piotr, frustration etched on his face, remained rooted in place. The pool, devoid of water, teemed with women, all clad in naval attire, occupying every available space. Exhaustion weighing heavily on her, Ania searched for a place to sit. A woman in the deep end caught her eye and waved her over. Ania slumped down beside her, gratitude evident in her voice. "Thank you." The woman handed Ania a life jacket, borrowed from the sleeping figure at her feet. Ania eyed it quizzically before shrugging it on. Suddenly, the double doors burst open, the Nazi officer storming in, his gaze locking onto Ania. Her eyes widened in alarm as he leapt into the pool, charging through the sea of women, his sight set on her. Ania struggled to rise, but the life jacket strap snagged on the pool grate. She glanced down, frantically trying to free herself, but it was too late. The Nazi officer seized her by the jacket, his grip unrelenting. The woman who had offered Ania the life jacket intervened, her voice sharp. "Hey, leave her alone!" Without hesitation, the Nazi officer backhanded the woman, sending her crumpling to the floor, unconscious. As he turned his attention back to Ania, an explosion rocked the boat, knocking him off balance and onto her. Alarms blared, emergency lights flashing, casting an eerie glow over the scene. The Nazi officer regained his footing, his eyes boring into Ania's with unbridled hatred. A second explosion tore through the ship, a shockwave followed by flames and debris. Bodies hurtled through the air as the pool erupted, tile and cement mingling with the carnage. Ania shoved the lifeless Nazi officer off her, surveying the devastation. Nearly every woman in the pool lay dead, save for a few at the shallow end. Wiping blood from her face, Ania navigated through the metal debris and piled body parts. She cleared the rubble from the face of the woman who had tried to help her, only to find her dead, her eyes open and her nose shattered. Sorrow welled up in Ania's eyes as she checked the safety of the scroll tucked inside her shirt. Relief washed over her as she found it intact. She retrieved the brown satchel from the Nazi officer and carefully placed the scroll inside, securing the torn but still functional strap across her chest. Her moment of respite was short-lived as the boat began to list, throwing her off balance once more. Darkness engulfed the space as the lights flickered out, the alarms fading into the background. Screams and explosions grew distant, replaced by the relentless, ominous lapping of the frigid Baltic, its sound growing louder with each passing second, a chilling reminder of the peril that awaited